It's time to watch a horror movie again. Today's movie is a horror movie. With a very high score, Ghostbusters, the girl woke up from the dark room at the moment of turning her head. A pair of dry, wet eyes scared her. She only saw the surrounding environment is cold, and damp her hands were tied by a rope when she tried to escape. There was a strange sound of footsteps outside the door. The girl quickly hid in the closet. As the door was slowly pushed open, a woman, who was seriously injured and limping, walked into the room. The girl was gone. She was so angry her hands were constantly shaking. The woman locked her eyes on the cabinet in front of her. The closer she walked, the closer the girl's heart was raised her throat. She was afraid to make a sound. At the moment the cabinet door was about to open, the girl rushed out of it. But when she was running away, she was caught in the ankle. The girl took advantage of the injured spy. She immediately dug into a dog hole. But at the last moment, she was dragged into an endless abyss. When she woke up again, she found the woman sitting in front of the mirror. She took care of the few hairs. She is Mrs. Fusang, who is very beautiful. A big fire made her lose her child Nan. She became crazy. She stabbed other people's children, filling the gaps in her heart. In order to prevent the child from escaping, Mrs. Fusang dug out their eyes. But as the missing children became more and more, the parents began to search everywhere. The crying of Mrs. Fusang's family soon attracted their attention. The tortured child, the parents were furious. They kicked Mrs. Fusang's feet. They also cut out 2 huge mouths from her mouth. In order to vent their anger, they hung Mrs. Fusang on the beam, and the villagers' cries, Mrs. Fusang's eyes were blushing. It seems to remember everyone who heard her in the movie. The scene where Mrs. Fusang was hanged to death, the producer was a little angry. Tong Song left the studio. He came to the stairs, found the director squatting on the ground, smoking in the conversation. The director said he wanted to delete the scene. Where Mrs. Fusang was hanged to death, the producer did not answer, but showed a deep expression. When he went back, found a familiar figure walked into the screening. But when I went and checked, there was no one inside the scene where Mrs. Fusang was hanged to death was. Playing on the screen, the scene just now still left the producer in a bad mood. When he was about to escape, the picture in front of him was set in place. The producer turned his head slowly. I don't know what I saw. A scream of despair. The whole movie was deleted. The male lead, Ah Chien, is a movie screenwriter previously. Because of the obsession, he took away his girlfriend's watch and sold it recently. Because of his tight hands, he had a fight with his friend Yu and started a street gun movie, and the movie on the road is the upcoming Ghost Hunter. After receiving a deposit, Ah Chien turned around and bought 2 lottery tickets. But when he was betting, he was just hit by his ex-girlfriend Xiao Song. Seeing Ah Chien's death, Xiao Song did not change. Xiao Song did not want to talk to him after packing up. He was ready to go home, but as he walked, he always felt that there was something behind him staring at himself. Figure hanging in the air, Xiao Song feels a little familiar, but don't wait for him to think more. That figure is getting closer and closer. It turned out to be Xiao Song's birthday today. It was just a prank by his colleagues after everyone left Ah Chien. And you started to act. He was in charge of filming the movie. Ah Chien was playing in the background, but in the process of waiting, Ah Chien accidentally fell asleep. It was past 6 o'clock in the morning. He hurried to the studio, but only found a camera. You did not know where to go. Ah Chien found a hidden place, checked the content carefully. In the picture, you seemed to see something terrible. He was terrified and retreated to the back room. Because of worrying about Yu's safety, Ah Chien came to his residence. But the other party doesn't seem to be at home. When he was about to leave, Ah Chien found a strange footprint on the ground, extended to the cabinet in the room. He carefully walked over. It was just a false alarm. Now that there is no harvest, Ah Chien is ready to go home. But as soon as he got downstairs, the 2 people who made the pirated movie blocked the way. They threatened, Ah Chien, you have a hand over the film before the movie is released. Otherwise, he will know what is evil under the threat of the other party. Ah Chien can only return to the cinema alone, re-record the content of the movie. However, halfway through, Ah Chien found something strange footprints in the movie. It has nothing to do with Yu's family. It can only be said that it is exactly the same. Ah Chien had a bad feeling the phone call Yu was broadcast again, but what surprised him was the ringtone came from the studio. When he turned to look at the screen, stayed for a moment, Yu actually appeared in the movie. He was also dug out his eyes, and what flashed in his hand is the phone call he made. Ah Chien dare not stay, won't leave this place as soon as possible. And behind him, the figure of Fu Sang saw flash by. Ah Chien was so scared, came to the underground parking lot. But just when he thought it was safe, Sang Saw was brought home like this. Ah Chien was still thinking about the strange things that happened tonight. Then there was a sudden sound. He pushed the door of the bathroom, found that strange footprint again. What's more terrible is there was a woman with a comb in it. Ah Chien's heart rate instantly soared to 180, but after opening the curtain, I only saw a comb on the ground, but the hair on it is enough to show everything that just happened is not a fake. The next day, Chen found something even more terrible, the poster said Fu. Sangseo's story is based on real events. Thinking back to the recent strange encounter, Chen turned on the video and watched it. I found the figure of Fu Sangso in the picture. Chen can't sit still anymore at this time. He passed through the glass of the studio, found a figure on the audience seat very similar to Fu Sangso. He immediately came to the studio to check, but it was empty. Chen's strange behavior successfully attracted the attention of Xiaosong. He followed Chen to the studio, found the content of the video. Xiaosong saw him doing illegal things again. He started to say something to him. Since the matter has been exposed, Chen had to say the most recent strange encounter. The ghost of Fu Sangso really exists, and Yuga was also caught by him. Xiaosong thought he was being too cocky, didn't take this matter to heart. But after he finished working, still called Yuga. But no one answered the phone. He looked at the poster in front of him. It was a little shaky in the studio. The colleague found Chen depressed. He was entrusted by Chen successfully cooked Xiaosong's watch back just when Chen was carrying it carefully. Fu Sangso suddenly appeared, almost scared Chen to pee his pants. He thought he could avoid the other party's entanglement when he left the studio. But Fu Sangso is not an ordinary ghost. He actually opened his face to him in the crowd. Under Fu Sangseo's relentless pursuit, Tion was frightened and lost his way into the elevator at first glance. He was inexperienced. The elevator is actually the most dangerous. Facing the dim light, Fu Sangso has come to his back. Chen was almost scared to death, crazy, pulling the elevator door. When found, Chen was lying on the ground, constantly twitching at first. Xiaosong thought he was having a drug attack, but his colleague told him after the two broke up, Chen changed his mind. Did he really misunderstand him? To figure out what was going on, Xiaosong began to search for information online. It is said that in the film Ghosts and Ghosts, during the shooting, there have been many spiritual events, and Fu Sangso is also real. It's no different from what's shown in the movie Catch the Kid. And dig the eyeballs. After Chen woke up, Xiaosong asked about Fu Sangso. He still has some unconfident brother. He was killed by Fu Sangso, according to the setting of the movie, only by burning Fu Sangseo's body. He can completely remove the curse, but no one knows where Fu Sangseo's body went the next day. The two came to Fu Sangseo's hometown, according to the information on the internet. They think the body may still be hidden in that house on the way. They met a lot of blind people. It seems that they were all persecuted by Fu Sangso soon. The two came to the destination. The room was in ruins, but they searched the whole house. But there was no discovery. According to the plot in the movie, there should be a hidden door. Chen was knocked out on the spot. It took a long time to regain consciousness. While Xiaosong was moving the soldiers, Chen began to observe the surrounding situation. See the rope hanging on the beam? It should be the room where Fu Sangso was executed. That's right, he also found a photo on the ground, but he didn't have time to take a closer look. Xiaosong suddenly ran in from the door. All kind of cold and warmth came up, then pull up Chen and leave. But at this time, there was a call from Xiaosong on the top of his head. After the real Xiaosong finally arrived, everything that happened after Chen fell, it's just a nightmare. He had finally. The two came to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor told them Fu Sangso was actually alive. The two were shocked. Finally, they came to a mental hospital under the guidance of staff. They saw the real Fu Sangso. Are you sure that the person is really Fu Sangso? Yes, that's right. This matter became more complicated. If Fu Sangso is still alive, then who is the ghost haunting Chen? When Chen was in self-doubt, a propaganda poster of a ghost attracted his attention. He was sure that the Fu Sangso he saw is the actress on this poster. In order to investigate the truth, they came to the company that made the movie Ghost when there was no one. At night, the two sneaked into the company. After a search, Chen found the footage of Fu Sangso hanging to death. After seeing the content in the videotape, the mystery was finally solved. When shooting the plot of Fu Sangso hanging, the actor was afraid of the rope breaking. He couldn't get into the state. Reshooting dozens of times, the director is still not very satisfied. What language is this? What are you afraid of? I don't understand. It's not safe. Where is it? It's safe, okay? How many times have you practiced? How many times have you been wrong here? Everyone is waiting for you alone under the strict requirements of the actor. The director decided to give him one last chance. This time, he really did not disappoint. Whether it's facial expression management or body movements are all good. Everyone is immersed in this performance. Only the staff responsible for shooting the plot found that the insurance on the actor's head was broken. When the actor was released, his eyes were red, and he was no longer breathing. Anyone who has seen him hang to death will be cursed to death, of course. It doesn't include Baozi, who watched my explanation. In order not to implicate Xiaosong, Aikian decided to go to the cinema alone, destroy all the film rolls, cut off the source of the curse. But he just got to the cinema. He was targeted by the pirated two-person group, take the money, and do nothing. The man was about to give him a lesson. Fortunately, The movie was just over. Aiken followed the flow of people and hurried away, then quickly came to the studio, burned all the film rolls about Li Gui after everything was done. Aiken died, but at this time the pirated two-person group reappeared. It's exactly the same as just now, and the next time Aiken seems to have fallen into a time loop. He burned the film rolls over and over again. He carefully dug out his head. It was decided that no one would dare come out, however, half a step out of the room. The big brother who came to ask for debt actually appeared again. Aiken couldn't bear to hit the man directly, but when he regained consciousness, the other party turned into a poster. Fu Sang saw Aiken was scared to run away, however. No matter where you go, the picture of Fu Sang saw being hanged to death will appear in front of him. Aiken's spirit is about to collapse. He ran to the lobby, suddenly found Xiao Song's figure. Xiao Song just glanced and turned around and walked into the lobby, however. Aiken just caught up the real Xiao Song, rushed overseeing Aiken's figure. Xiao Song wanted to call him, but the door of the lobby was automatically closed at this time. The scene of Fu Sang saw being hanged to death is still playing on the screen. He didn't find Xiao Song. He was about to leave as a result. He turned around and found Fu Sang saw. In the movie, disappeared just when Aiken was looking around, suddenly felt something behind him, getting closer to himself. He hasn't reacted yet. Fu Sang saw opened his face directly. This movie has a lot of bald-faced shots. No wonder it will become my childhood shadow, fortunately. I have no number of ghosts now. This little fight is not in the picture at all. Back to the point, Aiken was scared to run away. Fu Sang saw took a knife, chasing behind in a panic. Aiken ran into a room and will wait for him to calm down and find out this is actually Fu Seng's old nest. He wanted to go back, but the door was blocked by a wall at this time. Xiao Song came to the lobby after a search. I actually saw Aiken's figure on the screen. Just saw him open a hidden door, found the movie production team, including Yu Ge. All died here. See such a tragic scene. Xiao Song just knew what Aiken said is true at the end of the story. Aiken helplessly lurked in the corner. Xiao Song can only watch and was dubbed by Fu Sang saw. It's almost time for the movie to be released. There is no absence. In the lobby, everyone witnessed a scene where Fu Sang saw was hanged, so what should their fate be? The story ends here. If you like it, please support it. See you next time.